there. I wanted to come on and talk about this notion of 1 pound of muscle weighing more than 1 pound of fat. So I understand that people are going to Dr. Google and they are learning that 1 pound of muscle weighs more than 1 pound of fat. Or maybe you heard it from a friend of a friend whose friend is seeing a trainer and that person is working out, and since they started working out, they're putting on a little bit of weight instead of losing it, even though they're working out and eating right. The reason must be because muscle weighs more than fat. Well, unfortunately, that's not actually the truth. 1 pound of muscle is the same of 1 pound of fat. A pound is a pound is a pound. The difference is the space, the volume that it takes up in this world. So I'm going to give a demonstration of that in a minute. Let me first introduce myself. I'm Bonnie Newland, registered dietitian nutritionist, and I specialize in helping women lose weight sustainably without doing crazy crash diets, without lowering your metabolic rate, so that sets you up for failure in the long term. We just do steady weight loss that you can keep off and adapt for a lifetime without this cycle of yo-yo dieting. I myself lost 140 pounds and I became a registered dietitian because I was tired of all of the yo-yo diets and looking for the next great thing out there, and the secret that all these fit skinny people had that I must not have heard that wasn't working for me. And the reality is I finally had to make myself a priority and quit making excuses. You're either moving closer to your goal or further from your goal based on the choices that you make. And so one of those things is educating ourselves and making sure that the nutrition information we get is coming from somebody who has a background in the science of nutrition. That is a big difference between Dr. Google and some of these other sites that we see where influencers are giving out some information that may be harmful to you in the long run, even though you might be getting a gain in the short term. So what I want to do first is I want to show you what 1 pound of fat looks like. Now I am using marshmallows. I couldn't think of a better thing to use. This is 1 pound. I weighed this out on my food scale. This is 1 pound. So when somebody says, I only lost 1 pound this week, I'm not crying. I'm not crying with you. 1 pound. Look at the volume that this takes up. Guys, this is literally like the size almost of a football. And I know it's hard to see the size. Here's my hand. That's a lot of volume. When you think about that being on our bodies, that takes up a lot of space. It's bulky, it's not compact. It's also not metabolically active. So it hangs out on our bodies and it doesn't do us any favors. Versus 1 pound of muscle. I have an apple and 2 almonds because my apple wasn't quite a pound. This is also 1 pound. So they're both 1 pound, but the space that the apple occupies in this world is less, it's more compact. So you get to choose which pound it is that you prefer. This pound takes up less space on our body and it's metabolically active. So when you have more lean muscle, guess what? You're burning more calories and your metabolic rate is higher versus this guy that just hangs out and basically is like the bad family member that won't go away. It's here and it doesn't contribute. So I don't know if that was a good example or not, but anyway, that's what I'm using. One of the things that I will say is that when we are losing weight, our fat cells, and this is a fat cell, let's say, they are filled with triglycerides. And so as we lose weight and the triglycerides leave our cells, they condense. And then what happens is the cell fills with water. So when you lose weight, the cell is still there initially. And so when you first lose weight, you might lose a couple pounds or maybe 10 pounds. It depends on your unique metabolism. And so you lose a little bit of weight because the triglycerides are going out of your body from waste, from sweat, from respiration, from all the ways that we lose calories. Then the fat cell fills with water, with fluid. And so we can gain some of the weight back because that water occupies space. Then what happens is if we can just hang in there through some of these little weight gains, is that our body will eventually reabsorb and use this cell. So you eventually will lose this fat cell. But initially it hangs out to see if you're really making a long-term commitment or if it should just hang out and swell back up with the triglycerides when you go off your next yo-yo diet. So I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about that biochemistry and then show you the difference between 1 pound of muscle and 1 pound of fat and let you choose which you prefer. So remember, you're either moving closer to your goal or further from your goal, depending on whether or not you're making priorities or excuses. So the ball is totally in your court. None of us can make you lose weight. We can just give you the tools to help get you there. And I hope that educating you and giving you some of the actual facts will help you. So until next time, have a great day.